Alright, how's it going? Random Rider here. And I'm just cruising along, going to a friend's place. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about gear, I guess. Because on the way home from work, if I had to go in, there's a lot of traffic on the Southern State Parkway. And it turns out, as I passed the crash site, a Ford Explorer pretty much ran over a motorcycle. So the motorcycle was underneath the Ford Explorer, behind its front wheels, like pretty much perched in the middle of that's fun. Anyway, in the middle of the underneath it, in the middle of the Ford Explorer. It looked like a cruiser type bike. I don't know the status of the rider, or if they had a passenger. I don't know how severe injuries are, or even if he survived. There were 4 ambulances, and squad cars, loads of traffic, and it was kind of a weird experience riding past that. I've never been that close to a accident involving a motorcycle before, and I was on my motorcycle. So I talk a little bit about gear. Gear I find to be an important part of motorcycle riding, and I find it to be kind of a topic of debate. Not everybody wears all their gear all the time, and I am a big supporter of wearing your gear, but to each their own. If you're willing to take the risk on yourself, then you're taking the risk. So it's your body, you do what you want with it, but I'd rather sweat than bleed. And basically, there's 2 things you look at here. First off, how much you're going to wear, and secondly, the price. Because especially when you're buying your first motorcycle, the gear you buy for the motorcycle is going to be part of the overall motorcycle costs to get riding. And so if the motorcycle's $5 grand and gear comes out to a total of $1 grand, then basically that's a $6 grand motorcycle, if you think about it that way, for your first bike. That's the way I look at it. So if you're budgeting for yourself, and say you're only going to have $5 grand to spend on your motorcycle, you got to think about it. Will that budget include gear for the motorcycle, or will that be its own separate budget? So once you figure that out, you got to figure out how much you're going to wear. Well, hopefully figure that out first. You can get, first let's start with the basic, a helmet. It is my opinion that a helmet should be mandatory. That's just my own personal opinion. There are certain states here in the U.S. where it's not mandatory. It's mandatory here in New York as far as I know, and it pretty much should be. I think if you're not wearing a helmet, that you're pretty much setting yourself up for disaster. I prefer full face styled helmets because I want to protect my face. But that would be the bare minimum, would be a helmet. Then there's jackets. Now the thing with jackets is there's a couple of types. There's mesh, there's textile, and there's leather. And then there's hybrids like leather, textile, mesh textile, stuff like that. You gotta do your research, see what type of jacket A you think looks good, and B, the type of protection you want. Leather offers really good protection, but textile technology is getting up there where you can be pretty much as well protected with textile. You don't need the leather, and it's usually less expensive than leather. You look at breathability, and also what type of riding you're going to be doing. If you're going to be doing adventure style riding or long distance touring style riding, you might want a waterproof jacket. That way you're not really, affected by the water. Pretty obvious. If you're thinking of doing track days, maybe you want to look at getting a 2-piece that can be used on the track, or investing as well in a 1-piece tracksuit. That's kind of not necessary riding gear. I'm talking about just for riding around town, to and from work, wherever you gotta go. So the jackets, pretty much you got mesh, textile, and leather, and I separate mesh from textile because it is a bit different in my opinion. Ooh, that sun is bright. Moving down all the way, boots, or shoes, whatever you want to call it. There's a wide variety. There's different styles. There's long boots, short boots, shoe style things. Pretty much you name it, they got a style like that. Lace up, zip up, Velcro, whatever. And this is, I think, this and the glove, I think, is what most people skimp out on, or just skip out on. And the thing with motorcycle boots is they're designed, for the most part, to help you shift, and for protection, abrasion, impact. You don't have to go super crazy, but I would recommend something kind of designed for motorcycle riding, just to help you with road debris. That's a loud exhaust. I can speak from experience that I've had debris hit my foot. Would it have been okay in a sneaker? Maybe, depending on the speed. I would definitely felt it more and probably hurt. And with the boots, it was fine. I don't know. I'm a fan of the boots. They're there to provide protection. And for example, I like wearing boots in general. My standard boots are too fat, pretty much too tall. I wouldn't really be able to shift very well with them, so these are helping you shift. Gloves. I like gloves because they keep your hand warm, and even in the summertime, it gets a little hot, yes, but with the wind moving over it, it just keeps the hand comfortable. And if you think about it, we experience the world aside from sight, but touch. You know, picking up things, feeling the clutch levers, things of that nature. And I don't know about you, but I think my hands are pretty important, and I don't want to lose them. So having some protection on my hands is, aside from being security, it's also a safety blanket to me. So that's why I wear them. And also, I think the handlebars feel kind of funny without hands. Yes, they would feel pretty funny without hands, but without gloves on. And then lastly, you got pants. Now, I have one pair of riding pants, but it's getting colder here, and it's like a pair that has very good ventilation. It's one of the Icon pants, I believe. So really not the brightest thing to wear right now, considering the weather is changing. Other than that, I don't really have riding pants, and I want to get some. I want to get some just because I've noticed when I'm at speed that I'm like, wow, my legs are kind of vulnerable. And you don't have to get crazy armor imbued pants. You can get just the Kevlar pants for abrasion and stuff like that. And that's really, I think, fine for most style of riding. If you don't want to get pants or let's say jacket, they do make field armor. I know Icon makes it, for your chest, your back, your arms, and your legs. Other companies do. And that's another route to think about if you don't want the jackets because it's too dang hot. Yes, I said dang instead of damn. Deal with it. I don't know why I did. I usually say too damn hot, but whatever. So that's another option. I just wanted to go over that a bit, my own opinions on gear, because it really depends, I guess, on your style of riding, how comfortable you feel, and also your budget. You may not be able to afford everything, and that's completely understandable. Jackets can be upwards of $800, depending on the jacket company, the quality, and what type of jacket you're getting. So I find it completely understandable if you don't think you can afford certain gear, because it can get expensive. But when you're thinking about getting into riding, for you new riders out there or whatever, and you don't have a motorcycle yet, you should definitely factor gear into your overall cost for your motorcycle. And once you have gear, you can pretty much use that gear for any motorcycle. If you think about it, you don't have to get gear tailored to the style of bike you're riding. You could wear a full face helmet and an Icon Contra jacket, for example, on a Harley if you wanted to, because you have it. Anyways, that's just my little ramble on gear, so take it easy.